Hi guys, it's Crimson Butterfly here for TogetherweR Wednesdays. So the topic of the week is unsafe foods and incorporating unsafe foods into your diet. I think this is probably one of the hardest things to do when you're in recovery, because you have this set list of foods that you feel comfortable eating. And a lot of times it's a very, very small list of foods you're comfortable eating, and it can be different for everyone, what foods you can eat and what foods you can't eat. So, like I said, it's a difficult thing to try and start incorporating unsafe foods into your diet, but I think it's important because, it's nice, let's face it, and like a lot of the unsafe foods that I used to have, but I don't have unsafe foods now, but to me, like, all food is not safe, but all food is allowed, because I've found a lot of times for me personally, when I had like, this is the food I can eat and this is the food I can't eat, I would end up binging on the foods I can't eat because I'd end up feeling deprived. So yeah. Sorry, I'm really itchy at the moment. I apologise. Like I said, for me, I think it starts with changing your mindset around food, which, like, I know that's so easy to say, just change your mindset, but it's a lot harder than that. So I think if you're going to start incorporating unsafe foods, sort of like think about what you want to incorporate in, and start with maybe a small portion of whatever the food is. I apologise. A small portion, whatever the food is, that you are trying to incorporate, and starts with a small portion of it, and sort of like, slowly work up. And like I say, the hardest thing to do is to change in your mind that what food is safe and unsafe. Like I said, for me currently, I don't have any unsafe foods. I allow myself all foods if I want it. But I think that's the key point. It's like, if I'm hungry for something and I fancy having a chocolate bar, I will buy a chocolate bar. And I think for me it is also like, when previously I would binge, say for example with the unsafe food, I would binge on like just chocolate. It didn't matter what chocolate it was, I'd just have the chocolate. I could have the whole flat full of chocolate and I'd eat whatever it is, even if I didn't like it that much, that particular chocolate brand or whatever, or that particular bar of chocolate, I would still binge on it. So I found for me is, if I'm going to have a chocolate bar and I'm going to allow it, say for example if it is an unsafe food, I'll make sure that I will buy the chocolate that I like. For example, I like dark chocolate, so if I'm going to buy chocolate to eat, I'll buy a small bar of dark chocolate, and that will be that. And then, like, you've had your chocolate. So like I said, the best thing to do is to start with a small portion of it, and then you might say only have 1 square of chocolate or something, and then the next time, if you, maybe a couple of times you have that, don't necessarily have to go, the next time I'm going to have 2 squares, and the next time I'm going to have 3 squares, and the next time I'm going to have the whole bar. You don't necessarily have to work like that, but work like up a portion to what would be considered a normal portion. So like that's what I would say would be the best tip. And like I said, the other tip would be to try and, as easy as I said it, it's not that easy, and I know it's not that easy, and I'm not saying to anyone it is easy, is to change your perspective on safe and unsafe foods. Because I found for me, when I did have a list of safe versus unsafe foods, or whatever, junk food, yeah, I found that I would, like, every time I was like, right, I can't have, these are my unsafe foods, or what used to be my unsafe foods. Peanut butter. I absolutely love peanut butter. It's not a huge thing over in the UK, but I absolutely love it. In fact, I don't know many people in my family that actually do love it, so I'm like quite the minority, but I know Americans, it's a big thing. But anyway, so my unsafe foods used to be like peanut butter, chocolate, like any kind of chocolate, ice cream. That used to be, I used to love vanilla ice cream. Vanilla ice cream with melted chocolate, that was used to be one of my favourites. But I shouldn't really eat ice cream because I'm lactose intolerant. Okay, I have no idea what the cat's doing there. But yeah, so like, you know, the cat's just totally like blowing my train of thought. Yes, I know, you did. I apologise. So, like I said, my list of unsafe foods used to be like, you know, or like ice cream, crisps, or chips to the Americans. One of my big was like hash browns. I love hash browns. I don't mind them so much nowadays, but I used to absolutely love hash browns. So that's just a few of my sort of unsafe foods I used to have. Nowadays, like I said, I don't have unsafe foods. If I want that food, I can have it, but you know, most of the time, you know, in general. But I found for me, when I had that list of unsafe foods, that I wouldn't allow myself to eat, I ended up focusing, like, you know, thinking, well, I can't have that, can't have that. Every time the thought popped into your head, nope, can't have that, can't have that. I think it used to always set me up for like a binge, because then I would end up buying and binging on those said foods. I'm trying to make a video. Yes. So, for me, like, getting rid of the unsafe food mindset was one of the best things I had, because every time, like, the thought pops into my head, you know, oh, wouldn't mind having a chocolate bar now. Sometimes it's not practical, just, you know, you could be in the middle of the night, like, I am up all the time in the middle of the night, because I work nights. You know, so you can't exactly pop to the shops in the middle of the night. Well, you can, but the shops are, like, the 24-hour shops, you know, I'd have to get in the car and drive, and then anyway, so you know, the thought would pop in my head, oh, I fancy a chocolate bar, and I'll think, oh, well, you know, I'll get one later if I still fancy it, you know, because I can have it, because I don't focus on, you know, this is my unsafe food, this is my safe food, I can only eat my safe foods. Don't get me wrong, I love my safe foods, but like I said, in general, my rather long rambly rant, sort of tips, I suppose. One is to try and get rid of your mindset on, you know, I can have this food and I can't have that food, because like I said, for me personally, I don't know if anyone else has the same experience, but the instant you say you can't have something is the instant that thing becomes like this focus. I can't have that, and I used to like, you know, you end up craving that food, and then you end up like for me, binging on it. So like, you know, I get rid of it. Like nowadays, like most days, I have peanut butter, but I will have just a little bit of peanut butter, where before I could literally just sit there and eat the whole jar of peanut butter. I feel very sick afterwards, but you know, I'm nauseated. But so now I don't do that. So I can have peanut butter in the flat, and it can stay there, and I'm not binging on it. So that's one of my tips, like to try and sort of like get out of the mindset of safe versus unsafe. Tip 2, if you are going to start incorporating your unsafe foods, is to try and start with small portions of it, so you're not so overwhelmed. You might start with like a half portion of whatever it is, or maybe just a few of it, you know, and then work up to having a full portion. So yeah, that's my tips. I really hope it was helpful for someone, but yeah, it's probably not very helpful, and probably very long and rambly. I apologise. So yes, now I shall be answering the question of the week in a minute. So, the question of the week was, what is your favourite subject? Yeah, I'm a bit old for school. But my favourite subject at school was science, which is why I did my degree in biomedical science. But within that, it's probably going to be a bit sad. But my favourite subject, or area that we learned, was microbiology, which is bacteria and viruses and fungi and all that kind of stuff. So it's really sad. I absolutely love bacteria. Okay, sorry. I just disappeared briefly then, because to demonstrate how much I loved bacteria, there's this website called Giant Microbes, which basically they sell plushies, which is like little stuffed teddy bear kind of things, of bacteria and fungi and shit. I don't know if they got fungi on. No, they might do, but viruses, bacteria, and like human cells and stuff like that. So this is one of the ones that I bought, which is Yersinia pestis, which is the bacteria that cause the Black Death. So there he is, and he's got a little explanation about what he did and everything. So yes, so that demonstrates my nerdiness, I suppose, and geekiness for bacteria, my little Yersinia pestis. So yes, I quite like microbiology, and I love learning about microbiology. I'm pretty sad that I know a lot about microbiology, so when people talk about stuff like that, it really irritates me when people get things wrong. Like I think recently in the news they were saying about this new virus that was super virus thing that was hitting a hospital. This was a couple of months back, maybe like 6 months back. Anyway, they said it was Clostridium difficile, and I'm like, it's not a virus, it's a bacteria. But yes, that demonstrates my sad thing. Also, the other one that I bought, which is probably kind of very, very strange, is this little guy, and this little guy is a fat cell. Yes, a adipocyte. So it tells you about him as well. So that's the other one I bought, because I'm really, really like nerdy and strange like that. So yes, at school my favourite subject was science, and it still is, and I still love science. I haven't actually managed to get a job in science, much to my dismay. But yes, I will always love science, and science for the win. So yes, probably rambled on enough now, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!